and thank you so much for joining us for our Friday's edition of Press Review right here on Luntha TV, today being the 9th of December in the year of 2022. As usual, during this program, we get to take you through some of the stories that are appearing in our newspapers, and today you're with me, Tandy Wemzumara, and I'll be taking you through the Daily Times and my colleague,
Jacqueline Saili with The Nation.
All right, you want to start?
Yes. On the front page of The Nation, there's a story, Who is in Control? And this story has a subheadline, Pundits wonder how Chizuma Hotel could elude government hierarchy. Part of the story, pronouncements by Malawi government officials that even President Lazarus Chakwera did not know about the arrest of Anti-Corruption Bureau Director General Martha Chizuma have prompted stakeholders to wonder who is in control. On separate interviews and statements, political pundits, lawyers, civil society, rights and religious groups, as well as opposition political parties wonder how the president, cabinet ministers and the attorney general would not be aware that police were headed for the graft-bursting agency's head.
You know, I think this story can raise questions among yes, because people keep asking, how does Boma arrest Motu? You know, and there's that question, who is in control? Because how does the it seems it was done with Stephen Kayuni, Dr. Stephen Kayuni, the Director of Public Prosecution. Is it that he has so much power, more than the government, more than a president?
One would ask.
You know, it really raises questions. And honestly speaking,
but then also, if this is really the case, would still go back to the words that like the opposition are using, other civil society organizations are using. Are we really safe in this country?
Exactly, because
wow,
if people are like that, our police having the audacity
into your country, I mean
into your house, having the audacity. Apparently, anashira kukanizira kuti akatenga magrasi atamugogodera aita bwera ndi samani kuti tizautenge no police ndidikire ndikavale magrasi ali ayi.
It's so sad how things are happening.
It really is, and
it's like this nation is slipping away from our fingertips.
Oh yes,
and we don't even know it.
And at the end of the day, it is asindikira kuti amene akuti lamulira or we are not even safe. So it really raises questions, and government needs to do something about this.
Yes.
To at least to already. I hope okay, we look at Martha Chizuma. There are some people who believe in her work.
Yes.
As a prosecutor on corruption, and the fact that even she is not safe. Someone who's regarded as a savior, I would put it, in other people's eyes, she's regarded as a savior. So even she is not safe. How enough indeed, like, do we even stand a chance?
Exactly, because this, if maybe we can relate to some of the statements that have been given out, that have been released in the past few days. This is not the only issue, because there was that issue of the baby with albinism whose hand was chopped. There was those ladies who were asked to dig up a grave.
The elderly.
Yes, and these things, they keep coming and they keep piling up. It's like nothing has been done.
And there's still the Buluma issue as well.
There's still the Buluma issue, yes, of course. And it's like so little is being done, and we can't even observe, we can't even see that there's progress in the way these issues or these abuses are being handled.
So much bad news.
So much bad news.
Yes, that's where the problem comes in. We make progress, all the bad news, if pile up, somewhere literally.
Yes.
Because you'll find after the Chizuma situation, the president made a move to release Linda Kunje. The former MIC commissioner.
Yes.
You would find no one even gave attention to that. You get, because people are thinking about something else. We have a bigger issue at hand. That was a good move, yes. But to some people, they might actually find it rather good timing yake kuti yobwera modani ikhanga kuti ifuna izichinjiriza nkhani zina, but this is a bigger issue. We have bigger issues in the country. It's a good move, but I feel like the government could do more in addressing some of the issues. As many as you could, even international organizations had to come in. They could act izizi cause kuti banga even affect kunkhani ya thandizo limene tingamandire for nthawi zambiri ma international organizations. They believe so much in exercising of human rights.
Yes.
So if you are actually violating the human rights ya munthu omwe amayenera kumenyera ufulu wa anthu ena, that
is an issue.
It's risky.
Yeah, it is risky. And on the same, I think nkhani ina ndiyo kuti pali issue yomati we're working on this, we're working on this, but we don't actually see kodi work imene yoyo ya balazibatso zotani.
Exactly.
This goes back to statement ya abamo, if we might relate to that. Kuti boma linayamba galigale kunena kuti tikuchira kafukufuku munkhani imene abaso there is a kafukufuku that has just been launched on the Chizuma issue. Yes, but at the end of the day, do we really get results of those kafukufukus, or tikungokhala like pows or fouls on those kafukufukus? So I think as a country there is so much that we need to focus on, we need to do to move on this, because it's like we're stuck now. Amalawi tapanigizika, but at the same time, the one thing that maybe mwina anthu amene ali atsogoleri athu samadziwa nzoti ngati nzika za dziko lino tinatha kukamaso.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yes,
and we're not stupid.
Yes,
literally, so, to put it that plain, we're not stupid. At
the end of the day, we try, and speculations will always be there. And then we'll start speculating, and at the end of the day, it's bad for either you guys or the country as a whole.
All right. On the front page of the Daily Times, the headline here is Judiciary Complaints Flood Ombudsman, and the sub-headline reads Service Seekers File 47 Queries. And part of the story reads that the Office of the Ombudsman registered 47 complaints against the judiciary as of August this year. The revelation was made yesterday by Magistrates and Judges Association of Malawi Majam Board Chairperson Justice Frank Kabanda during the opening ceremony of a two-day conference in Luntha. Kabanda said looking at the number of cases, there are indications that the aggrieved people sought redress from other institutions. I think even kumabwala milandu athu kuli nkhani chonchi.
Yes.
And it was my because of people, they're not getting the justice they deserve. It's like there's that delay. And yet, there's supposed to be expedition of such cases. And yesterday, I remember, I think the president swore in about 4 judges. So I don't know. The good move would be kumanga even makoti, even my districts, even every district needs to have at least a number of those. At least they could expedite my cases, because I would give an example. Yes. Of this point, I'm not sure what it was Jordan. Commando they keep coming in Kanizina, injunction. And and people are always focusing on the bigger stories, but at the end of the day there are so many issues, people's human rights are being violated. Gender-based violence, defilement, but at the end of the day it's like justice delivery even
in as far as which is a bigger story than the other, there's also need to focus on the individual aspect. Because for me, because issue ya susu kaya, it's a small issue, but it's not a small issue.
Oh, definitely
not. It's
not.
actually a big issue. And if you look at makoti waiting, and stuff, you'd actually see people are going through the most.
Almost.
And to think kuti nthawi zina anthu amene amakhala kuti ndi usalakwa, but they have been through all that, going in circles and stuff, and I think this is reflecting badly on the justice system of this country.
Most definitely.
Moving on to the second page, there's a story here. CCJP demands answers on Buluma claims. Part of the story, the Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace has queried government's silence on revelations of alleged systematic corruption on fuel import deals involving senior government officials. CCJP said it is perturbed that following accusations from the former NOCMA Deputy Chief Executive Officer Helen Buluma that some public officers are attempting to cut corners in fuel deals, Capitol Hill has chosen to remain silent. But Minister of Information and Digitization Gospel Kazako yesterday said Buluma was free to submit those complaints to relevant institutions, and that presently she is yet to submit any of her claims. But I think she did that because going to Parliament, meeting that committee and talking about issues like that, those are national issues, matters of national interest, we might say. And I think there is need for seriousness when it comes to these issues, because a lot of money is being lost. A lot of funds which a lot of people could have used maybe to keep themselves safe, to keep themselves sane, it's being lost. And it's like we don't even care about it. It's lost. So what? So at the end of the day, this is costing the country a lot. And it's not just about the money. It's also about the insanity of this country. It's like aliyese panoba akupanga zimene yeyo akuona kuti ndizomuyendereza, which it's not even supposed to be like that. Because there's supposed to be rules to be followed, but at the end of the day, who is following those rules? Because and amene so ali stuck up on following those rules, they are not doing anything. Kuti mungaone anthu ngati amene uchiri kukopa moyo wawo sichikuchitika, koma anthu amene they are cutting corners, it's like they're getting so much. And it's very sad.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I think I don't know if I can even add anything. I feel like everything you've already expressed much on that. Do you have any more locals before we move on to business?
We can move on to business.
All right. So on business, there's a headline here. It's macroeconomic crisis worsens, and part of the story reads that the World Bank yesterday released the 16th Malawi Economic Monitor (MEM), which has revealed that Malawi's macroeconomic crisis is worsening, severely impacting households and the private sector. The MEM, planning beyond the next harvest, advancing economic stability and agricultural commercialization, says after a tepid rebound in 2021, Malawi's economy entered another slowdown this year. According to the MEM, the World Bank estimates that gross domestic product (GDP) growth has slowed to 0.9% in 2022, a decline from 2.8% in 2021.
Debt service costs rising. The story has a sub-headline: soared by 10.2 billion kwacha in 5 years, data shows. Part of the story, rising external debt is costing Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs more in servicing the loan, with World Bank figures showing an 83% increase in the past 5 years. The World Bank data shows that in 2021, Treasury paid 22.5 billion kwacha to service external debt, a slight rise from the 21.5 billion kwacha paid in the previous year. The International Debt Report, which is the World Bank's compilation of statistics covering external debt of 121 low and middle income countries, show that in 2019, Treasury paid 17.4 billion kwacha in debt service from 12.3 billion kwacha in 2018.
Do you have any more business before we move on to international news?
Domestic debt rise stifles businesses. This is according to the World Bank. The World Bank has said government domestic debt uptake by the banking sector remains high at 66.3% year on year as at September 2022, crowding out private sector investment. On the other hand, the Bretton Woods institution said net credit from the banking sector to the private sector increased by 22.4% year on year.
All right, moving on to international news, I'll take one. The headline here is Peru has new president after dramatic impeachment. And part of the story reads that Peru has a female president for the first time after ex-president Pedro Castillo was impeached hours after he tried to dissolve parliament. Dina Boluarte, previously the vice president, was sworn in after a dramatic day in Lima on Wednesday. Earlier in the day, Castillo had said he was replacing Congress with an exceptional emergency government. It's interesting to know that elsewhere in the world, Antozima Tega Umpanga impeached president so fast and with so unanimously like that.
Yeah.
Umpanga impeached the vice president. Why?
It's also all about the structure of the government. I think because we'll lose somewhere as a country. I don't know, maybe I don't know.
As Malawi?
Yes.
What are you trying to suggest?
I'm not suggesting anything, but yes. Moving forward on the international news, this is The Nation. Gibuza's son and 11 others jailed for corruption. Part of the story, a Mozambican court on Wednesday jailed former President Armando Guebuza's son and 2 ex-park chiefs for 12 years in a corruption scandal that crashed the country's economy after the government attempted to hide huge debts. The case relates to debt contracted by the government between 2013 and 2014 without Parliament's approval, which prompted the International Monetary Fund to intervene, triggering a sovereign debt collapse in 2016.
Do you have any more before we move on to arts and culture?
Let's move on to the arts and culture.
All right, speaking of arts and culture, a headline here is Pixie to star in Ireland. And part of the story reads that musician Pixie left the country yesterday for Dublin, Ireland, where he's expected to perform at the Association of Malawians in Ireland, Amai Gala Awards tomorrow. The award-winning artist, who recently bagged the Song of the Year award for Anana during the 4th edition of the Maso Awards, will be performing in Ireland for the first time. The artist promised nothing but the best during his performance, adding that he has had massive rehearsals. Well, all the best to him. I believe he's good at what he does as an artist, so I have no doubt that he will deliver.
Well, he really is good. My Blacks in 2 weeks tour over South Africa. Local reggae group Black Missionaries Band and Anthony Makandetsa yesterday left for South Africa for a number of shows in Johannesburg, Pretoria and Durban. In an interview yesterday, Black Missionaries Band leader Angelo Fumulani said that this is the band's first tour of South Africa in 4 years. He said that they have not been to the Rainbow Nation in 4 years, partly due to the COVID-19, and they are happy that finally the fans will get a taste of the new music. Fumulani said during the tour, which starts today, they will perform in Johannesburg today, Orlando Stadium, also in Johannesburg tomorrow, and the next weekend they will perform in Pretoria and Durban before returning to Johannesburg on December 18th.
Still on arts and culture, this one is an international one. Says D'banj arrested for fraud. And part of the story reads that Nigerian Afrobeat star D'banj has been arrested over allegations of fraud after millions of dollars meant to help unemployed youths start businesses was reported missing. The artist, who has claimed to be the brand ambassador for the scheme, has turned himself in. The Empower initiative was launched in 2016 by President Muhammadu Buhari. There's always something fishy about my scheme for businesses. And in Tarizambi, even Masigwano, even they're really trying to do it into with the right intentions. Masigwano, I know not people pull out because of some examples that we've had in the past. Yes. All of a sudden, but the sad part is it's always the anti-minority influencing that they're always on the forefront trying to help people, but at the same time now
they're taking advantage.
They're taking advantage, and the Zima people should actually lose faith. Image has been tarnished. I'm not saying he's guilty. He might not be guilty. He might be innocent. Already, and for mindset on him as an artist. Yes. They're already calling him names as it is. It's
Very
it's
sad.
embarrassing also.
This Africa, I don't know what is wrong with us.
Yeah, only God knows.
Only God knows. Matumela Festival for Mental Health Music Promotion. Part of the story, musician and founder of Matumela Festival, Lulu, real name Roland Sequisa, says this year's festival will promote discussions on mental health and give a platform to up-and-coming artists in Lilongwe. In an interview yesterday, Lulu said when he initially started the festival, it was simply to celebrate music, but over time it has become a platform to discuss other issues affecting the youth.
All right, I think that's a good move. All right, on the back page, take one for the local sports. A headline here is Mr. Malawi ineligible for title defense. Part of the story reads Emmanuel Masomanzi Muhua is ineligible to defend his Mr. Malawi title or feature in local amateur competitions after becoming the first Malawian bodybuilder to earn the International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness IFFB professional license. Muhua is now a member of IFBB professional leagues and the National Physique Committee, having obtained a pro card in South Africa. This will allow him to compete in any competition organized by IFBB internationally. I've always been interested in the bodybuilding stuff, so to actually see that as Malawians we're doing the most, we're being recognized, winning such on the international level, it's amazing. I mean, Ababa was in Talivo, so is only for Malawi. He cannot compete in Malawi, which means we do Malawi.
Okay, battle for Afghan. That's the headline, and the subheadline as Malawi fakes essay in under 17 summit. Part of the story stakes are high this evening as Malawi under 17 coach Greg Msaka Kuona and his South African counterpart Duncan Crowe fight for a place at the 2023 under 17 Africa Cup of Nations Africa.
All right, we move on to international sports. I'll take one. Headline here reads England defender challenges Mbappe, and part of the story reads that England defender Kyle Walker says France star Kylian Mbappe will not stand in my way of winning World Cup as the pair prepare for the pace battle in Saturday's quarter-final clash. Mbappe, who is on course to take the Golden Boot with 5 goals in 4 games, returned to full training with the France team on Wednesday after undergoing a recovery session away from the squad on Tuesday.
The last story for the day, Hazard retires from Belgium duty. Part of the story, Belgium forward Eden Hazard has retired from international duty after his nation's exit from the World Cup at the group stage. Belgium finished third in Group F, beating Canada in their opening game before losing to Morocco and then drawing with Croatia. The 31-year-old Real Madrid star played in all 3 games but did not score for his country. He wrote on his page, the page turns today. Thank you for your love, thank you for your unparalleled support. Thank you for all this happiness shared since 2008. I've decided to put an end to my international career.
All right, well, that also brings us to the end of what we have for you in this edition of Press Review for today, Friday, the 9th of December in the year 2022. Remember that we only managed to take you through some of the stories that are appearing in our newspapers, so if you do want to know more details to the stories we read, and some of which we did not, do make sure to get yourself the papers, with each going at the price of 1,000 kwacha. You have anything to say before we say goodbye?
No.
All right, well, that's it from us. You've been with me, Tandy Wimzamara, and my colleague,
Jacqueline Saidi.
Have a lovely Friday.